market areas such as parts of Guangdong, yang also needs to stuff, hence yang tofu, stuffed bean curd.
Huizhou, here we come! First off, we have to drop off our bags at the Pullman, which happens to be at the top of the city's tallest skyscraper. We are also lucky to be given a room that faces south, affording us a panoramic view of the bend where the Xiji River and the artificial Xinkai River flow into the Dong River, or Dongjiang, which lends its name to the local Dongjiang Cuisine, a branch of Hakka Cuisine so important, it occasionally stands in for Hakka Cuisine itself. For example, a disputed but prevalent view is that Cantonese cuisine mainly comprises Guangzhou, Chaoshan, and Hakka cuisines. Oftentimes, Dongjiang is used in lieu of Hakka, to the dismay of Hakka folks elsewhere. I'll touch on that touchy matter in a few minutes as we delve deeper into this first repast in Huizhou and an establishment on the other side of the Dong River. Gaoji Huizhou Fengwei Lou, especially famous for Huizhou cuisine's famous yanjuji, salt-baked chicken. I've already shown clips of the dish several times. Check out the linked video of an earlier meal for one theory about the birth of salt-baked chicken and Meizhou pickled vegetable.
This restaurant, Gaoji Huizhou Fengwei, literally means Gao's pavilion of Huizhou flavors, and they serve a plethora of Huizhou and Hakka flavors. First and foremost is the yanjuji salt-baked chicken, the well-known Hakka culinary symbol.
Here's an alternative theory about the rise of this culinary symbol. Workers at salt pans along Huizhou's shoreline sort of invented this dish by accident when they kept cooked chicken in salt piles. Among other sources, I've read this explanation in a book by food critic Zhu Zhenfan of Taiwan province, who also wrote that this accidental method later evolved. Instead of salt being utilized merely as a storage medium, salt would be heated and used as cooking medium. For foreign viewers out there, this might remind you of the Spanish pescado a la sal, but there are some minor differences. For one thing, the chicken is wrapped in parchment paper instead of burying directly in salt. For another, a rub consisting of salt and other herbs is applied before the salt baking process. According to Gaoji's eponymous owner Mr. Gao Yanlai, who is also the author of Huizhou culinary Bible Huizhou Weidao, his recipe calls for rubbing salt and galangal powder. This mixture is also the basis for the dipping oil here. He's also very kind to explain these two types of snacks, one round, one semicircular, are meant to denote the phrase 日月同辉, meaning sun and moon shine together. Other than being an astronomical phenomenon, seeing the sun and moon simultaneously is also an auspicious sign. That's why we've ordered them both. If you're feeling auspicious today, hit that like! The round cake is ama jiao, literally grandma yells at you. Why is dear old granny yelling at you? Because this fried cake of shredded turnip, dried shrimp, etc. is so diabolically delicious, you're just standing there at the street hawker eating and eating as if under a spell instead of going home for your proper meal. The other one is aijiao, wormwood dumpling. Wormwood is typically green and consumed in spring. This unusual gray color results from the use of airong, dried wormwood leaves pounded into cotton-like form. Mr. Gao says that this method is unique to Huizhou. Next, another dish representative of Huizhou.
Xian refers to a wide range of different clans. The definition varies between different regions, but is eaten in many parts of China, including the numerous Hakka areas of Guangdong. However, stir-frying the xian with chopped fried goat stick youtiao is mostly a Huizhou dish.
Unlike many other Hakka settlements in the mountains, Huizhou is blessed with comparatively easy access to water, from its coast along the South China Sea to the aforesaid rivers, especially the Dong River, which is why Huizhou's Dongjiang style of Hakka food has a higher proportion of aquatic products, while the Meizhou style remains truer to the original Hakka culinary heritage. This is not my opinion, but that of Mr. Chen Gangwen, a top chef and prolific instructor of the Meizhou sect. Nothing like a little friendly rivalry between own family folks of the same ilk to promote cultural inheritance and innovation. Meizhou is another major Hakka cultural hub. We won't be going there on this trip, but we did enjoy some Meizhou foods before in Shenzhen, such as marinated noodles and sanjidi soup. Let me briefly switch to another Huizhou Hakka restaurant where we would encounter more Meizhou fares.
Just like Huizhou, the city of Meizhou also has a significant Hakka population, which is why this Huizhou Hakka restaurant chain serves the Meizhou 涮盘子 or Meizhou abacus, a dish consisting of cassava balls.
These little scintillating jewels are typically a mix of cassava starch and mashed taro or other tubers. Water is added to create dough. The mixture is pinched into little balls, then pressed into this round, flat shape. They look like button or Chinese chess piece, etc. But why name it after the beads of an abacus? Because the tool symbolizes business and academic acumen. The 涮盘子 abacus beads are first boiled, then rinsed and kept in cold water until usage. Toppings consisting of things like mushroom and dried tofu, or just simply spring onion as seen here, are stir-fried first, then the 涮盘子 are added later and tossed together. The result is like a savory version of big, flattened tapioca balls. At this chain 客二代, we'd have stuffed bitter gourd too. Some food writers consider the stuffing technique the apogee of Hakka Cuisine because of reasons such as dexterity required and diversity of dishes. How diverse? Let us now return to Gaoji and see how they stuff their stuffs.
Nyang tofu, stuffed tofu, another Hakka culinary classic. Now, nyang is a verb meaning to make, usually involving some sort of fermentation. So you could use that verb to describe the production of beer, liquor, wine, as well as vinegar, soy sauce, etc. But in certain areas, such as parts of Guangdong, nyang also means to stuff, hence nyang tofu, stuffed bean curd, which is served here with nyang stuffed bitter gourd, and yang stuffed eggplant.
At 客二代, the bitter gourd has been stuffed with beans, meat, and sticky rice, while here at Gaoji, stuffing is mushroom with sticky rice, and eggplant is filled only with meat. I know there are many stuffed dishes in other cuisines, like stuffed eggplants in fairs of the Levant, Italy, and Greece. We've made stuffed mushrooms at home, jalapeno poppers of virtually stuffed peppers, etc. But what really shows off Hakka culinary artistry is their original stuffed dish, the granddaddy of them all, nyang tofu, the stuffed bean curd. The pith is the delicate touch required to insert stuffing into the delicate tofu without the curd breaking in the process and without the stuffing falling out afterwards. Plus, stuffed tofu embodies the Hakka's migratory history, as introduced in the linked video of an earlier Hakka meal in Shenzhen. This Hakka meal is a marathon of marvelous dishes. Time for us to walk a little marathon of our own to burn off some of those calories. I just mentioned Shenzhen. That's a young city. While Huizhou is a comparatively older city, but it has its young side too. We stumble across an old factory repurposed as Wild Island, a cultural and creative industry park. Then we stroll along Shuidong Street, well known for its rows of qilao riding buildings, referring to structures with projecting upper floors that ride on a colonnade below. Facades have been renewed, but traditional ways of life have been preserved. At the end of Shuidong Street is Hejiang Etek. The name literally means river joining tower because it stands at the confluence of the Dong River and the Xizhi River. On a taxi ride back, we will cross the Dong River. Yes, also known as Dongjiang, the Dongjiang of delicious Dongjiang Hakka cuisine. More Hakka heritage in the next video, both intangible and tangible. 再见!